Hi, I want to welcome you to this year's edition of Exit Strategy Summit. Sometime in 2019, when we did 100% in person for Ghana, we traveled across a number of campuses. And in each of those campuses, I remember the topic and the theme for that year's exit strategy so well. The topic was the future of jobs. And I remember in that series, we kept talking about how everybody should be getting himself ready for a future where almost everything is going to be 100%. Fortunately, unfortunately, 2020 is here, and you'll be amazed that the kind of theme we drove with energy, with passion, and got every young person in all the tertiary campuses to appreciate is almost what is happening. Today, our theme, coincidentally, is the future of jobs post-COVID and how to prepare. Now, if you are watching us anywhere in the globe, do well to make sure that you are paying particular attention to some of the headlines and the pointers I'll be sharing, and take very particular notice of them. I'll be touching on what you have to know and what you have to do, particularly in these times when things are virtually never the same as they used to be. And so you have to probably become a little bit more agile than you used to be. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do a quick presentation. And then when I'm done with that presentation, I'm going to invite the other panelists, and we are going to discuss and pick up some of your questions and answers. Then from there, we can pick up the entrepreneurial side of what we are going to do. And then from there, we can take a break. And then those of you who wanted to have one-on-one career counseling sessions, we can do that for you. And then those who want to do the aptitude test, they can equally do the aptitude test. The good thing about this year is that the aptitude test is also 100% virtual. You log into your aptitude test link, and then just about 5 or 10 minutes, you get it done. And immediately you are done, it says marked automatically, and you get to know for yourself whether you pass or you did not. For those who pass, the moment you pass, you will see your score, and then we will move you into a virtual mock interview room where you will meet people who are going to be interviewing you, industry leaders, and those who become successful at the interview, you'll be given an opportunity to intern in a number of companies. So my topic for this morning is the future of jobs post-COVID and how to prepare. Now, circa 2015, sometime around 2015, the World Economic Forum brought up a certain projection about jobs. And I'm going to be going back to my slide and then show you what they were talking about. If you look at the slides, as you are seeing it in Facebook, you notice that sometime in 2015, they began talking about jobs that are growing and jobs that are declining. All the way back. And they said that by 2022, we are going to have a number of jobs that are going to be on the increase, and then another batch of jobs that are going to be on the decline. Strangely, I remember very well in 2019 that we shared this with you across all the campuses in Ghana. Now, fast forward 2020, it appears those things have happened. And the real intent of this was to get everybody to prepare for the side of the world of work that was going to see an increase. And so, for example, things that border on analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategies, critical thinking and analysis, complex problem solving, among others. Any job that bordered on the side of this projection that is on the increase or that was going to grow are the things that are now reality to many of us. The side that looked at the declining part, almost every one of those ones is now a snapshot of job losses, a snapshot of job changes, and a variety of things that have happened because of COVID. So then you move to the next point about the rate of automation. And in the rate of automation, there was another prediction pre-COVID to say that in the next couple of years, sometime between 2020 and 2022, almost everything that has to do with jobs and work is probably going to be automated. And we discussed with you also that time what the rate was going to be. Now, beginning with 2018 up to 2025, you will notice that we divided this prediction as the World Economic Outlook report puts it. That there are a number of things that machines are going to do, and there are another batch of things that human beings are going to do. But then we were getting into a period where machines were going to crowd out the part that human beings were doing. And so if you're a young undergrad, and if you are looking forward to living your career, you are looking forward to becoming what you want to become in the world of work, you have to take particular notice of the area you want to build a career that is getting crowded out by machines. So somebody is behind the camera, he wants to become maybe a studio manager. Somebody is maybe in the radio station, he wants to become a presenter. Somebody is in the hospital, maybe he wants to become a medical doctor. Somebody is in the bank, he wants to become a customer service manager. Which of these job sets is getting crowded out by this projection? And I'm saying that as far back as 2015, pre-COVID, all the way up till about 2017, this report was pointing many people to the future of work, even before the emergence of the pandemic. Now, if you look at the analysis, as of 2018, the analysis was that 29% of the entire working anatomy was going to be held by human beings, so 71%, and then 29% was going to be held by machines, AI and all that. Now in 2022, the prediction was that the margin of the portions of work that was controlled by human beings was going to go on a decline, like I showed on the first slide. And that decline was going to be such that it is almost immediately a half of same. Almost immediately, because then it's 42. And that should tell you that the moment we get into a zone like that, then you are likely to lose what you now have the privilege of leading as a career. Then all of a sudden, 2019, something pushes the entire world into a zone, into a bracket where we don't even have an option to grow into a place where you can have a human being standing behind a camera, you can have a human being sitting behind a teller machine, you can have a human being sitting behind a car, and all of a sudden, machines are crowding out and competing with these tasks. I was in a meeting not long ago, and it is being discussed that very soon, when you even want a legal assistant, it is more possible and more likely that the constitution and the legal stuff that must be interpreted by the judges and the law court are now going to even be taken over by machines and artificial intelligence. And so then you notice that by 2022, we are having a prediction where it is 58 to 42. But I dare say that with the emergence of the global pandemic, this distribution is probably going to get worse. And so if you're a young person in the university, you should be preparing yourself. You should be getting ready. Why? Because your certificate and your degree alone will not be enough. It will not be enough. Why? Because that thing you have learnt in the lecture theater, that probably you had a first class, a second upper, that makes you think that you are the only one who can man a desk. You are the only one who can handle a machine. You are the only one who can set up that legal department. That narrative is changing. That narrative is going away. Already, the prediction had made it so, 58 to 42. But as I speak, the global pandemic is making it worse. Let me show you another thing. The many phases of the robot revolution. The many phases of the robot revolution. And when you look at that also carefully, if you are following me on the slide, the many phases of the robot revolution is saying that we are getting to a point by 2022, and I've said that these statistics, as published by the World Economic Outlook in their reports, did not envisage a global pandemic that was going to crash the world and push the world into an uncompromising virtual state. And so whatever is true here is likely to even become worse in another sense, in terms of job losses. So you see that there are now humanoid robots, and then there are stationary robots, and then there are aerial and underwater robots, and there are non-human land robots. It means almost everything we are doing, everything you are doing that you think we will need you to do, sooner than you are thinking, we wouldn't need you. We just program it and everything will work. And so if you don't have any other skill set beyond what you have learned, beyond the certificate you have, and you cannot be agile to know more and to become intelligent with anything that is virtual, then you can have your certificate, you can have your first class, you can have all the things you have, but you will not have a place in the future of work. And that is something you must think about carefully. So the next slide talks about jobs with the higher physical proximity that are likely to be disrupted. Look at that carefully. Jobs that have the highest physical proximity. Now on this slide, I am talking to you about regular jobs that feel like you really need somebody to do it. Regular jobs that you feel like you really, you can't do without a person. You can't do without a physical hand. You can't do without somebody coming to a physical office. You'll be amazed. We are beaming this across 46 nations globally at just one spot somewhere in a tiny space in Accra, Ghana. But it is being made possible because of the realities of the global pandemic and technology. So if you look at this, you see medical care. So medical care is, you almost think that if I'm sick, if I'm not well, there is no way I can be in the house and I can be served. And so it's almost like, as long as I'm reading medicine, I don't think this global pandemic can crowd me out. Definitely people will have to visit the hospital. And that point about the physical proximity is about 87% out of 100. So the people dealing with medical care, then you come to personal care. That is not very common in Africa. But in some parts of Europe and emerging markets, you will see that when people reach a certain age, they need people who can be nursing them, who can be taking care of them and things like that. That one too, you have to be physically present. And that is about 83%. Then there is on-site customer interaction, where you go to a bank, you go to a financial institution, you go to a technology center, and there's supposed to be a physical interaction with a customer service person. Then leisure and travel. I want to do tourism, I want to visit a restaurant, I want to go to a tour, I want to go on a tour and all that. Those things also had 75%. Then home support, residential homes. Then you come all the way down to outdoor production and maintenance. Ladies and gentlemen, boom, there it comes, a global COVID-19 pandemic. And that is how the world was surprised. That is my next slide. And the world was surprised by an occurrence of a global pandemic. With all this physical analysis we had taught and looked at, that it looked like they were never going to change, then came something that was threatening the real life of every single continent in the world. Every one of them. Every single continent. There is no country that has not been forced to begin to relook at this physical analysis we have done. And what has that done? Look at my slide. What has this happened? What has happened? What has happened? This is what has happened. E-commerce immediately doubles up 5 times more post-COVID. The things we have been thinking are just physical. The things we have been thinking are not going to be given any dog chance about changing are now 5 times immediately gone digital. And look at the analysis. Between 2019 and 2015, on the average, in the United Kingdom, we are saying that e-commerce was somewhere around 1.3. By 2020, the close of 2020, e-commerce had jumped from a low of 1.3 to 5.7, meaning that almost everything has now turned electronic. Almost everything has now turned electronic. Almost everything has now become virtual. And so if you are waiting for us to call you to come for a job, if you are waiting for us to tell you that this is a fiscal office, if you are waiting for us to tell you that this is how you are going to be working from an office, I'm telling you that the gap between 1.3 and 5.7 is the job loss. And that space you were looking out for to get as an undergrad is gone. And so if you cannot immediately adjust yourself, if you cannot adjust your skill set, if you cannot change the way you are doing the things you are doing so that you can still be accommodated in the 5.7, then you can be holding a certificate, and as long as you are waiting for a fiscal office, you will never be employed. Why? Because even those who are already employed are challenged in keeping their roles if they can be taken over by machines. And that is where the challenge is. And that story is true all the way globally. All the way globally. The next thing I'm going to talk about to show you how serious this is the pre-COVID estimated change of employment share. So what has been the changes in terms of the crowding out? And I pick almost all the big economies, so that if all the big economies are being affected, I can show you what the implication is on little economies like Africa, like Ghana, like South Africa, like Zambia, like Namibia, like Cote d'Ivoire, Togo. If these big blue chip economic giants are struggling from the changes that this COVID has brought on jobs, and you in somewhere Santro Coffee in Ghana, you are not thinking about how you can also leverage on your skill set, and you are just locked up in the little mindset of a university degree, a university certificate, a polytechnic degree, a polytechnic certificate, and you think that is enough to give you a job for the future, you are joking. Why? Because a lot of things have changed. So let me give you the metrics from McKinsey and Co. And we are saying that anything you see that is ash down to black is a decrease. And anything you see that is this light blue to the deep blue is an increase. And I give you the occupation category. So the occupation categories are health, STEM professionals, managers, business and legal professionals, creative arts, transportation, all the way down to even agriculture. And if you want to tell the impact and the effect, you will notice that look at the job that suits the course you are reading now. On the left side, look at which category captures the course you are reading and the kind of career you want to build, and see how the job industry in that sector is being outpaced with virtual stuff. And if you can identify it, then you notice that you are getting crowded out. Look at this side. Educator and working force training. So teaching, literally teaching, literally teaching. Literally teaching. Remember I said that these scholars are decreased. And when we pick teaching, all the way, out of about 6 of them, you have more than 3 that is decreasing. Why? Because now we have virtual teachings. For every subject, I don't need a teacher necessarily. I have the audios, the videos, and if I can play to my child, I may not need to employ a teacher. And so if your confidence in your career is about having a certificate A as a teacher, and you are looking forward for something to happen, the schools are getting closed down. So what must you do? You must energize and retrain your skill set so that you can understand the virtual instances and still become relevant. The future of jobs post-COVID is not a joke. The future of jobs after this global pandemic is not a joke. And so you have to innovate and re-get your skills trained so that by the time you are coming out of school, you would be able to have a place for yourself. I go to the next slide, and the next slide is talking about industry sectors with the highest potential for remote work. Take a keen look at this if you're on Zoom. Take a keen look at this if you're on YouTube. Take a keen look at this if you're on Facebook. Industry sectors with the highest potential for remote work. That should tell you that if you have not designed your skill set to accommodate working remotely, you're on your way out. Finance and insurance. Greatest potential for remote work between 76 and 86%. So if you are in the finance and insurance industry, banking, pensions, insurance, and all those industries, get ready. Why? Because you don't need a physical office now. You can do everything you want to do remotely. Remotely. So if you cannot also work remotely, or your work cannot be done remotely, get ready. You are likely to have a problem. Those in the sciences, I have somebody who went to do a specialist cesarean session or surgery, and I'm told that there were other doctors that joined the main surgeon who joined him virtually. and they were assisting him in doing the operation. You can imagine. So maybe if before we needed 5 medical doctors, now that will reduce it to maybe 2. And you don't know anything outside of your physical holding of whatever instrument you need to do surgical operation. That means you may be having your certificate, but you don't have any place. You don't have any place. I go to the next slide, and I think it is also revealing, and that is called the McKinsey Global Survey of 800 Executives, where we pick top 800 executives globally, and we ask them the same questions about how their companies or businesses have adopted technological trends. Because a lot of things have changed. So we pick top blue chip companies, we pick their CEOs, and we ask them, so how has this global pandemic changed anything about your organization and how you do the things you do? And ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that 85% of all the companies have accelerated digitization, meaning that 85% of almost every company that can employ you, your skill set, anywhere in the world, has digitized by about 85%. You don't know anything beyond your Facebook account and your YouTube account. Apart from that, you don't know anything about anything that is digital and virtual. Your job is on the line of being lost, despite the fact that you may have a first class in that course. Then 65% of those companies have accelerated automation and artificial intelligence. So you have a law degree, there's an artificial intelligence product that is able to pick up a case, analyze a case, make a case study, make an address, and go and defend. Now we don't need people to pick up phone calls from that office again. It is programmed, and the moment the call comes in, somebody picks the call, answers it nicely, even better, in a better voice, in a better tone than yours, your crooked voice, in even a better pronunciation of the words. When you pick a phone and say, you just say hello, how are you? There's a better voice, animated voice that will pick it and say it in a more professional manner, no wrong English, no grammatical errors, and it will get it done without you. And that means you lose out on a job. There is a way where we use Excel and other things to create formulas and to analyze financial statement of banks, and there will not be any errors. This is how the world is becoming digitized. I am in a studio now, and I have a number of people behind the machine, the camera, and all the lights and the things like that. I am challenging you that soon we don't need many people behind these things. We just have 1 or 2 people. Program, you get into the studio, a light is pressed, and everything works. You don't need to talk to anybody about anything, whether they will come early or not, or do not come early. Everything is programmed, and so if you don't move into the zone of getting yourself digitized, your job would go and you have nothing to do. That is how fast the world is going. Then I come to the next thing about occupations at risk. Interesting. 46% of vulnerable jobs in food service, in customer service, and in sales are at risk. They are at risk. They are at risk. And it is an amazing statistic. Food, office support, builders, health, community services, property maintenance managers, and then health professionals. So my question to you is, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for this future of post-COVID world of work? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Young man, that is my next presentation. Are you ready? I am asking, are you ready for this world of change? Are you ready for this world of work? Are you ready for this tomorrow that is hitting everybody across the globe? And that we are not going to say you went to University of Ghana, University of Nairobi, University of South Africa, University of Pretoria. That is not enough. It is a certain skill set. Are you ready for tomorrow? That is what my next slide is asking you. Are you ready for tomorrow? This tomorrow that is so unpredictable. This tomorrow that you cannot tell what is happening next. This tomorrow that you don't know whether your job will still be there or not. This tomorrow whether you even know whether you can be paid even if you're employed or not, because companies are collapsing, organizations are falling away, and so they can even get you the job and they may not be able to pay you, or you may even have the job and they say step aside for now. Will you be able to contain yourself and keep yourself in motion without that job, without that role? Can you do anything outside of what you know now? If you can't, then you are not. That is why you need to have an exit strategy. That is why, as you are getting ready to finish your first degree, as you are getting ready to finish your second degree, as you are getting ready to finish your third and fourth degrees, you need an exit strategy. You need an exit strategy. And I'll take you to my next slide that talks about what an exit strategy looks like. This is how an exit strategy looks like. An exit strategy is a deliberate plot, a deliberate picture of your future that guides you to know what to do today about everything about your life. You don't wait till you are done with school. No. You don't wait till you are in final year. No. You don't wait till you are done with your project work. No. You don't wait till you are done with your national service. No. You need to put together an exit strategy and say that I just started first degree. Say that I'm just in the second year. Say that I'm just in the third year. But what am I going to do? What would I look like if I finish my degree and I have this certificate? What would life be like in the midst of this pandemic? Now, if you look at this, this is a 360-degree plan you must have for yourself. A 360-degree plan that talks about everything that matters to you tomorrow. Have you thought about your life after school? Have you thought about marriage and family? Have you thought about work and career? Have you thought about health and fitness? Have you thought about money and finance? Have you thought about personal growth? Have you thought about spirituality? You've got to put all these things in a perspective that can guide you so that you can do well right after school. And I'm going to show you how. The page I'm showing you is about how you craft and get yourself ready for the future of work post-COVID. And here I'm talking about strategy and tactic. In strategy and tactic, I am advising everyone who is watching us right now to deliberately pick a book and a paper. Let's go to the next slide. And in the book and the paper, this is what I want you to do. Write on top vision, goals, strategies, and tactics. Your vision is the next 10 years, the next 15 years, the next 20 years. Where do you see yourself? Assuming you had no limitation. Vision is as important as your eyes is to your body. The vision for your life is as important as your life is for your body. If you can take a moment and close your eyes, you will notice that the moment you close your eyes, almost everything comes to naught. And you can't see anything, you can't even move, you can't make certain steps, you are unsure about a lot of things, and you don't have direction, you don't have anything. Any young man who is watching me globally, I am challenging you that vision is as important and even more important than just getting a first class in chemical engineering. If you have a first class in chemical engineering and you don't have a picture of the next 5 years, you are as good as nothing. Why? Because it is not about what you have on paper as a certificate. It's about where you are going with that. That is why you need a vision. It is the vision you craft that will even tell who you go out with. It is the vision you craft that will tell you who you have become friends with. It is the vision you craft that will tell how you manage the little money you have on you today. It is the vision you craft that will tell how you conduct yourself today in that lecture room or in that office or in that workplace. The vision you have will cause you to report on time when others are interpreting 8 a.m. as 9:30, 10. It is the vision you have. Why? Because you are building a brand for yourself. And that is when you say that my vision 10 years from now is to be known for this. And so you need to have a vision that says that in the next 10 years, assuming A, B, C, D do not even happen, this is where I'm going in my life in that 360-degree thing I shared. Many people don't have vision. They have television, flash screens, but they don't have vision. They have iPhones, the latest. They have Samsung, the latest. They have gadgets, iPads and things. But when you ask them, where do you see yourself, young lady, in the next 5 years? Young man, where do you see yourself in the next 15 years? He doesn't know. For many people, even for tomorrow, they don't know. They are just looking up and saying that, look, each day at a time, you are a joker. Sit up. The world is crashing up on you, and you don't have a choice. You have to begin to think about the next 5 years, the next 2 years. You may not have all the things you want to get, but if you can have direction, Your direction in life is more important than speed. If you have vision, you may not have television, but your life is worth more than anything else you can have. Now, when you do this, one of the things you are going to be doing is to putting together the driving path of what you have to do to take you to where you want to be. So in the next 10 years in marriage, I want to marry a lady who understands ABC, who has these kind of values, who is going this area in life. In the next 10 years, I want to work in an organization that has this, that, and that. In the next 10 years, I want to have this amount of liberty financially so that I can take care of my kids, I can have that, and my net worth should be like this. In the next 10 years, this is how I want my spirituality to be. These are the kind of friends I want to have. In the next 10 years, this is the legacy I want to live in my generation. When my name is mentioned, this is what I want to strike on the mind of everyone. If you don't have this, you don't take your time and sit down to get this in the minds, in the hearts of your own self and the next future, you will just not get yourself anywhere. And I said that strategy is the driving plan. Tactic is the root part buried in your daily routine. So the moment you have a picture of your future, you then deliberately tell yourself that this is what I want to do daily to take me there. This is what I want to do daily to take me there. So that your daily routine becomes a picture of your future return. Your daily routine, what you do daily, it sums up and makes you where you are. That is why you are where you are today in that office. You are where you are today financially. You are where you are today in relationship because of some decisions you took some years ago daily. If you don't have this, I'm sorry. But thank God, when you get that paper and you put together your deliberate vision, you put together your strategy, and then your tactic, which is what I'm going to do daily, monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, half-yearly, quarterly, and then every year you can have a picture of where you want to be. And you type them, you put them down under each of the tactics. And when you do, you will now have a vision, you have a goal, you have the strategies to get you there, and your daily routines that will be seen as your tactic. If you're able to do this, then the future of work in the jobs landscape is for you. And if you look at my next slide, I talk about the future of work and the jobs landscape so that you can now prepare yourself for that future. And in the World Economic Forum report, these are the things they said, the top 10 emerging things that if you are good at, nothing can still take away your skill set. Nothing can still take away your job. Nothing can still take away your earning power and incomes. And when you do, you lose and you leave this declining side. And the moment you do, there are 4 things I want you to take note of. 4 things. If you forget everything I've said, these 4 things, the future of work is determining how far you go. These 4 things, don't miss out on them. Number 1, I'm saying that these 4 things fall under the new skills for the distance economy. The distance economy is the economy that is virtual. The economy that doesn't open a physical office for you to work in. The economy that doesn't give you a physical desk to sit in. The economy that doesn't give you a physical location. But the economy where a young man can be working from somewhere in his house and still be commanding and directing reports and still be delivering on goals and targets and still be selling and still be delivering on whatever he needs to do and earning income. And to be able to do that, number 1, you have to strengthen your social and emotional skills to ensure effective collaboration. Your social, your emotional skills to ensure effective collaboration. Number 2, you have to build adaptability and resilience to thrive during any evolving business situation. And here many people haven't been able to survive, probably from the time they lost their job up to now. If that man told you that don't come to work tomorrow because I can't pay you, for how many months can you survive on your own, trying to create your own business, trying to set up your own institution, trying to build something on your own with the skills you have learned? Can you do something with what you have learned so far? or if we sack you today, there is nothing you can do for yourself. If you cannot become your own chief executive and you cannot use your own skill set, your own abilities to drive something you want to do for yourself, then I am sorry, you are not ready for that future. Build adaptability and resilience. You have lost your job. That is not the end of the day. You are looking for another job before you can continue. No. What skill set do you have that you can build your own company on your own? What skill set do you have that you can start something on your own, so that even pending a regular job, you can generate your own income? There should be a point where that skill set is able to generate something for you. You are not adaptable. When we take you from that banking hall, there is nothing you can do again. When we take you from that hospital as a nurse, there is nothing you can do again. When we take you from that studio as a mechanic, there is nothing you can do again. Become adaptable and build multi-skill set, so that when this area doesn't work, in this future of unknown visibilities and vulnerabilities, you can still survive on a skill. The next one is expand the ability to operate in a fully digital environment. Expand your ability to operate in a fully digital environment. Expand your ability to operate. So you should be able to become versatile and understand anything digital. You are in final year. You don't know how to use mail merge. You are even hearing for the first time. Meanwhile, you said you have BSc Mechanical Engineering. Who is going to employ you? If I gave you an Excel to operate with, you say you are a cameraman, you are a specialist behind the camera, so you don't have anything to do with Excel. So you don't know anything about Excel. If you lose that work there, and we are giving you another job that requires that you need an Excel skill, you'll be hot. You are not building and expanding any ability to operate digitally. The future cannot accommodate you if you can't do that. All you know is your political science BSc or BA, reading about Kwame Nkrumah and Plato. If we take you out of that world of Plato and Kwame Nkrumah and the politics of your country, you don't understand anything digital science. Get ready. That future of work is going to crash you out. The last thing is to develop cognitive skills to ensure that critical players can respond to the needs of innovation and redesigning in terms of your skill sets. Do these 4 things and you'll be amazed. You'll find yourself in the top 10 emerging skill sets. And it doesn't matter what happens globally. Even if you lose your job, even if you lose your income, the future of work will still accommodate your ability and skill set. And you do well. Now from here, I move into another important topic that you must get. Another very important topic that you must get. That topic is about building financial immunity. Building financial immunity. Building financial immunity. It's a very simple topic. Now, financial immunity is your ability to withstand and generate your own income support when your major regular income ceases. Let me break it down. If you earn, say, $1,000 every month now from your regular job, and effective next month, that monthly income and allowance ceases. And listen to me carefully, it ceases. For how many months can you survive on the income on you? If you cannot survive for more than 6 months, you are a highly indebted, poor citizen. For many of us, if even the incomes we get from our parents delay for 2 weeks, we can't survive. If your employer doesn't pay you for a week, you can't survive. If your monthly earnings delay for even 1 day, you are hot. You can't survive. You don't have any immunity. And the way to build immunity is to be aggressive on savings. The good thing is that we are building a generation of 2 million young millionaires We are raising them by 2030. Now we have about 3,000 of them. Young people across the globe. We are raising 2 million. And we are putting them on a scheme called Penny Up. And in the Penny Up, we are marching them to put aside little monies that by 2030, every one of those 2 million young people can become millionaires net. And they can command the wealth of this generation through very simple acts of putting little monies aside. All they have to do is to go and look for the Penny App, which you are launching in a month or two, in a week or two. And then when you download the Penny App, we will give you the opportunity to have a personal consultant who will guide you to choose an income goal. And it can be $1 a day, a cedi a day, a penny a day, whatever. You put it down. But we drag you to make sure that by 2020, you're a millionaire. The next thing I'm talking about, very important in this Penny App thing, is that please take notice of this. Don't miss it. The Penny App is the app that we are using to raise young millionaires by 2030. And we are putting them into a challenge that every 6 months, we will drive people to put certain amounts aside to hit certain income targets. It doesn't matter whether you are working or not. There is a possibility to achieve that. Then from there, we will give you a penny consultant who can guide you to make sure that thing happens. The next and the last, possibly, in this my presentation, is to get mentorship and grow to become one. Get mentorship and grow to become one. Get mentorship and grow to become one. The next thing you have to do is to get mentorship. And don't just get mentorship, grow to become a mentor. Get mentorship and grow to become one. If you can share that slide there. Get a mentor, and when you get a mentor, you yourself must grow to become one. How do you do that? I'm giving you an opportunity to get a mentor. Many times when you say get a mentor, many people say, it's difficult to get these people. When you identify them and you notice that they can help you. A mentor is anybody who has gone ahead of what you want to become. And you think he can help you to become that. You don't need the person physically. If you get a person physically, great. But if you even don't get a person physically, it's okay. You can get a mentor. And today, I am giving every one of you globally watching me the opportunity to get a mentor today, right now. In the next 10 minutes, log on and look for Richmond Kwame Frimpong on YouTube. And on YouTube, I am enrolling, I am admitting as many of you as proteges, and I'm going to be grooming you, connect you into the 2 million young millionaires I want to raise. Just go there, subscribe, you type Richmond Kwame Frimpong, and when you click subscribe, immediately we'll reach out to you and enroll you into the mentorship class. Our goal is to not just recruit you and make you a mentee, but for you to also become a mentor so that you can raise other people, and also become a mentor, raise other people, and also give them a sense of direction. There is no way you can say you are going somewhere and you don't have anybody who is taking you there. Why? Because a mentor is like a ladder, and a ladder is like a feather. And it is the feather that takes you further. It is the feather that gives you access to the top. It is the feather that gives you the opportunity for flight. If you don't have a ladder, then you can't get access to the top. If you don't have an elevator, then you can't get access to the top. Even if you do, you struggle and you'll be in trouble. But if you want to get there right and not have bruises, get a mentor. And I'm saying that between now and the next 10 minutes, go to YouTube, click Richmond Kwame Frimpong, type it there, subscribe, and the team will quickly reach out to you and make sure that you are given the opportunity to be mentored and to be guided on finance, on work, on career, on anything that matters to you. Get a mentor. The difference between somebody who will make it and the other who will not is the mentor. If you have a mentor in career, you have a mentor in any aspect of your life, the thing that will take another person 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, it will just take you a talk over a table, and that mentor will guide you. That mentor will hold your hands and usher you so that you too can become a mentee. The next thing is to get postgraduate scholarship. Don't stop at first degree with the excuse that I don't have anybody who will pay for me. Don't stop at HND with the excuse that I don't have money. Don't stop at SHS with the excuse that I don't have money. You cannot just stop. Why? Because there is scholarship available. And I'm going to be showing you when I break. I'm going to pull in people who are going to be talking to us from Australia, from Switzerland, from the UK, from the US. And they are going to share with us the scholarship abilities and opportunities that are there. For all of you who want to go ahead in your academics, so that you can tap into the scholarship world and make something out of it. That is where we'll do the plenary session. And so you'll be able to do it. And the last thing I want to say, as I bring my presentation to an end, is do well. Do well. Not just to hear what I have shared, but make sure that you take it into action and make it a part of you. It is not enough to have heard me. It is not enough to have watched. It is not enough to have logged on. It is much more important to take whatever we have shared and make it practical to your life, so that in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, you'll become an example for this world. Thank you, and God bless you.